This is the forbidden knowledge they never wanted you to find, truths passed down in silence from sage to seeker. As you listen, you'll remember, the world you see is born not from fate, but from your own consciousness. The veil has lifted, and your destiny begins now. Forbidden Knowledge. Introduction. Beneath the shroud of forgotten aeons, cloaked in silence and symbol, a sacred truth has slumbered, awaiting the souls bold enough to remember. This is no ordinary wisdom, but a divine current of knowing that your very thoughts, pulsing with vibration and intent, are instruments of creation itself. You are not a mere observer in this cosmic dream, you are its composer. This hallowed truth, too powerful for the unawakened, has been guarded in secrecy, hidden in glyphs, encoded in ancient rites, and entrusted to the custodians of the mysteries. From the temples of Atlantis to the inner chambers of esoteric brotherhoods, it has passed through the lips of the initiated, ever veiled in allegory, ever guarded in shadow. Now, drawn by unseen forces in the silent alignment of stars, you have arrived. You were not brought here by accident, but summoned, your soul having crossed lifetimes to reach this threshold. These words are not mere ink on parchment, but echoes of remembrance calling you home. Within these arcane chapters lie the sigils of cosmic law, the sacred geometry of thought, energy, and intention. This is no dogma. It is the living code that stirs the ether, weaves the unseen, and gives shape to destiny. You are about to awaken the divine alchemy that sages once whispered to the wind, and which now stirs again in your blood. As you journey deeper, the veil will lift. You will learn to resonate with the frequencies that form galaxies, to command the latent power that births worlds. This energy, the essence of Source, has always dwelled within you, waiting for your remembrance. The time of concealment has ended. The veil has thinned, and forbidden knowledge calls forth those ready to reclaim their mastery. The age of sleeping is over. Step now into your inheritance, and remember what was once forbidden is now yours to wield. But before we begin, please hit the like button and let me know where in the world you're watching from today. It's always fascinating seeing who's joining us from around the world. Part 1. Awakening to the Hidden Truths. Chapter 1. The Veil of Illusion. In the ancient city of Alexandria, where the great library held countless mysteries within its hallowed walls, lived a humble scribe named Thomas. Through his daily work of transcribing texts, he discovered scrolls that revealed a truth so powerful it shook the very foundation of his understanding. Reality itself was but a projection of thought. As he studied these sacred writings in secret, he learned that the material world was merely the manifestation of concentrated thought energy, a truth the temple priests had long concealed. When the priests discovered Thomas had accessed this forbidden knowledge, they moved swiftly to silence him. Before vanishing into the desert night, he gathered a small circle of trusted disciples, passing on the sacred teachings that would eventually echo through centuries. The truth Thomas risked everything to preserve now stands before you. Your perception creates your reality, not the inverse. The material world you perceive as solid and unchangeable is, in truth, concentrated thought energy responding to your consciousness. Since birth, you have been conditioned by society to accept limitations as natural law, to view boundaries as immutable rather than the illusions they truly are. This veil of illusion persists through carefully maintained societal structures that teach you to doubt your own power. You have been trained to see yourself as separate from the creative force of the universe, when in truth you are one with it. In the year 1847, a woman named Margaret encountered these same timeless teachings through a mysterious leather-bound book that appeared on her doorstep. As she applied its wisdom, her life transformed dramatically. Her failing farm flourished, her health restored itself, and abundance flowed effortlessly into her life. Yet the townspeople, trapped in their limited understanding, branded her prosperity as witchcraft, unable to comprehend the simple truth that she had awakened to her natural power as a conscious creator. Margaret's journey mirrors your own. How often have you dismissed remarkable manifestations as mere coincidence? When your thoughts materialize into reality, did you not find yourself searching for logical explanations rather than accepting the proof of your creative power? To begin piercing this veil of illusion, sit in silence for 7 minutes each day. Observe how your thoughts create your emotional state and physical sensations. Notice how a peaceful thought brings calm to your body, while a worried thought creates tension. After each session, record 3 specific instances where your expectations directly manifested in your experience. This practice will gradually reveal the hidden connection between your thoughts and the reality you experience, awakening you to the truth that has been concealed for millennia. Chapter 2: The Great Concealment. In the shadows of a medieval monastery, William, a devoted scholar, discovered a collection of weathered scrolls hidden beneath loose stones in the library floor. Night after night, he translated their contents by candlelight, his hands trembling as he uncovered descriptions of humanity's natural ability to shape reality through focused intention. The scrolls spoke of practices so powerful that those who mastered them could manifest their desires into physical form. As whispers of heresy reached the church authorities, William knew he had to preserve this knowledge. With careful precision, he began encoding these sacred teachings into his paintings, seemingly innocent religious scenes that concealed sacred geometries and symbolic instructions for awakening one's manifestation powers. His artwork, appearing to celebrate church doctrine, secretly transmitted this forbidden wisdom across generations. Throughout the ages, those who held power recognized that an awakened population, aware of their innate creative abilities, could not be controlled. Sacred texts were systematically altered, removing direct references to personal power and replacing them with instructions to seek authority from external sources. Modern institutions continue this pattern, using materialist philosophies to dismiss the fundamental connection between consciousness and physical reality. The truth remains: you were born with the power to shape reality. This ability was not gifted to you by any institution or authority. It is your birthright, as natural as breathing. Yet from your earliest years you were taught to doubt this power, to seek permission and validation from others before trusting your own experience. Consider Eleanor, a Victorian governess who discovered these hidden teachings through an ancient book in her employer's library. In the solitude of her quarters, she practiced the forbidden arts of manifestation. Through focused intention and unwavering belief, she transformed her circumstances. Her salary doubled, her health flourished, and opportunities for advancement appeared as if by magic. But when her detailed manifestation journal was discovered, her employer, gripped by fear and misunderstanding, cast it into the fire. Eleanor was dismissed, branded as a practitioner of dark arts, when her only crime was reclaiming her natural power. Eleanor's story mirrors your own journey. How many times have you felt the stirring of your creative power, only to silence it because society deemed such possibilities impossible? How often have you surrendered your authority to experts, institutions, or traditions that claim exclusive access to universal truths? To begin reclaiming your power, sit in contemplative silence, and examine 7 core beliefs you hold about the nature of reality. For each belief that limits your creative power, trace its origin. Was it inherited from family traditions, instilled through education, or imposed by religious teachings? Write down each belief and its source. Then, compose your declaration of reclamation. I now reclaim my natural power as a conscious creator. I release all limiting beliefs that were imposed upon me, and I embrace the truth of my creative authority. The power to shape reality flows through me, as it has through all those who came before me, who dared to remember their true nature. Chapter 3. The Sacred Flame Within. In the year 1847, on a remote stretch of coastline, Samuel kept his lonely vigil in the lighthouse tower. As storm clouds gathered on the horizon, he prepared for what would become the most extraordinary night of his existence. The gale struck with devastating force, threatening to extinguish the beacon that guided ships to safety. As waves crashed against the tower and winds howled like banshees, Samuel discovered something remarkable within himself. When the lamp's fuel began to run dangerously low, he found that by focusing his complete attention on the flame, it continued to burn beyond all natural explanation. Through the darkest hours of that tempestuous night, Samuel maintained the lighthouse beam through sheer force of will, saving countless sailors who would have otherwise perished on the treacherous rocks below. Within you burns this same eternal flame, a creative force that transcends physical limitations. Like Samuel's inexplicable ability to sustain the beacon, your inner power remains constant, regardless of external circumstances. Throughout history, this creative force has been symbolized as sacred fire, the eternal flame of Vesta, the holy fire of the ancient temples, the burning bush that spoke divine truth. These were not mere metaphors, but attempts to describe the undying power of pure consciousness to shape reality. This flame cannot be extinguished by doubt, diminished by disbelief, or destroyed by denial. It burns as brightly now as it did in the beginning, waiting only for you to remember and reclaim it. In the winter of 1873, Abigail found herself stranded in an isolated cabin with her young children, their supplies dwindling as brutal storms raged outside. When the last of their food was gone and the firewood nearly spent, she discovered an inexplicable ability to manifest sustenance from seeming nothingness. Each morning, she would sit in perfect stillness, connecting to something vast within herself. And each day, against all odds, exactly what they needed would appear: a rabbit caught in their last trap, a forgotten cache of preserves, enough warmth to keep the bitter cold at bay. Abigail's story mirrors those moments in your own life when extraordinary power emerged during times of greatest need. Perhaps you too have experienced inexplicable manifestations when circumstances pushed you beyond the boundaries of what you believed possible. In crisis, the mind's usual limitations fall away, allowing your true creative nature to emerge unencumbered by doubt. To rekindle your connection to this eternal flame, sit quietly each morning and visualize a sacred fire glowing within your solar plexus. Feed this inner flame with memories of times you created something from nothing, moments when resources appeared mysteriously, when strength came from an unknown source, when solutions emerged from seeming impossibility. Spend 5 minutes acknowledging this power before engaging with the outer world, affirming, "The eternal flame of creation burns within me, unchanging and unlimited." Chapter 4. The Temple of Silence. In the shadows of an ancient Egyptian temple, a young apprentice named Daniel was guided through torchlit corridors, his eyes bound with sacred cloth. The priests led him deeper beneath the earth, into chambers untouched by sunlight for millennia. Here, in a space of perfect darkness and silence, Daniel remained for 7 days, stripped of all sensory input, save the beating of his own heart. As hours stretched into days, something extraordinary awakened within him. In that profound stillness, he began to perceive reality's true nature, not as solid matter, but as vibrating waves of energy responding to his thoughts. The very air seemed alive with possibility, dancing to the rhythm of his focused intention. This ancient truth lies dormant within you as well. The modern world's cacophony, the endless chatter of devices, the constant barrage of information, the ceaseless demands for attention, serves as a veil, obscuring your natural ability to manifest through focused thought. This noise is no accident. Those who would keep you from your power have long understood that a quiet mind naturally accesses its creative force. In silence, thought becomes pure vibration, uncontaminated by doubt or distraction. When you still hear the endless mental chatter, you touch the sacred space where manifestation begins. This is the secret that mystery schools protected, that silence is not empty, but pregnant with infinite potential. In the year 1742, Clara discovered this truth during the height of religious persecution. As angry mobs threatened her Quaker community, she retreated into deep meditation, spending hours in complete stillness. In that sacred silence, she found she could influence events beyond physical means. Supplies appeared mysteriously when needed. Warning signs manifested at crucial moments. The community remained protected despite all odds. The elders attributed these occurrences to divine intervention, unable to comprehend that Clara had accessed the natural creative power that silence reveals. Yet she knew the truth, that in perfect stillness she touched something vast and responsive within herself. Your own experiences mirror Clara's journey. In rare moments of true mental quiet, you have likely witnessed reality shifting in response to your thoughts. Perhaps a needed resource appeared unexpectedly, or a situation resolved itself inexplicably. Yet, like those around Clara, you may have attributed these manifestations to coincidence or external forces, never recognizing your own creative power at work. Begin now with 3 minutes of absolute silence each day. Sit without distraction, observing thoughts as they arise but attaching to none. Gradually extend this practice to 11 minutes. In this expanded silence, hold a single desire in your mind, not as a wish or prayer, but as a pure vibration. Let it resonate in the stillness without effort or words. The universe responds not to what you say, but to what you radiate in silence. Chapter 5. The Forbidden Mirror. In the shimmering heart of Renaissance Venice, where sunlight danced on canal waters and secrets whispered through narrow alleyways, lived Frederick, a master craftsman whose hands worked miracles with glass and silver. His reputation grew not just for the clarity of his mirrors, but for something far more extraordinary. They seemed to capture more than mere reflections. Those who gazed into his creations often stepped back in shock, for staring back at them was not just their physical form, but the unmistakable evidence of their inner state. A nobleman's reflection revealed not his fine clothes, but his hidden greed. A merchant's mirror showed not his confident smile, but his deep-seated fears. As word spread of these truth-telling mirrors, Frederick's patrons grew increasingly disturbed by what they saw. One night, flames consumed his workshop, reducing his creations to ash, yet the truth they revealed could not be so easily destroyed. The universe operates as Frederick's mirrors did, reflecting back to you with perfect precision the contents of your consciousness. Every circumstance you encounter, every relationship you experience, Every material condition in your life serves as a flawless mirror of your predominant thoughts and feelings. This is not metaphor, but cosmic law, one so confronting that ancient texts describing it were systematically destroyed by those who feared its implications. In the 1920s New Orleans, Josephine inherited an ornate mirror, its silver surface holding mysteries deeper than its age-darkened frame suggested. At first, she dismissed as imagination the way its reflection seemed to shift with her moods. Yet as she studied it more closely, she noticed an undeniable pattern. When worry clouded her thoughts about money, the mirror's surface appeared tarnished and dim. But in moments when she felt abundant and worthy, the glass gleamed with unusual brilliance. Gradually, Josephine began an experiment. Each morning, she chose to hold thoughts of prosperity and abundance while gazing into the mirror. As weeks passed, not only did the mirror's reflection grow consistently brighter, but her financial circumstances transformed in perfect synchronicity. Unexpected opportunities appeared, wise investments manifested, and abundance flowed as naturally as water. Your reality operates exactly as Josephine's mirror did. What appear as fixed circumstances, your financial situation, your relationships, your physical well-being, are actually fluid reflections of your consciousness, transforming in perfect harmony with your inner state. Stand now before your mirror each day for 5 minutes. Gaze steadily into your own eyes and ask, "What are my current circumstances reflecting about my inner world?" Then identify 3 specific conditions you wish to transform. For each, write down the inner shift required, for if you change the image within, the reflection must, by universal law, change as well. Chapter 6, The Cosmic Language. In the fading light of a remote cave, Nathaniel stood transfixed before ancient markings that would forever alter humanity's understanding of universal communication. As his trembling fingers traced the intricate patterns etched into stone, recognition dawned. These same sacred geometries had appeared in his research across 3 continents, their precise angles and proportions defying coincidence. The creative force of the universe speaks in a language older than words, a cosmic tongue of symbols, numbers, and sacred forms that transcends human speech. These patterns form the underlying structure of creation itself, from the spiral of galaxies to the arrangement of petals on a flower. The ancients understood this profound truth. Encoding their manifestation knowledge in geometric forms that served as direct conduits to the creative power of the universe. This sacred language was not meant to remain hidden, yet those who recognized its power systematically removed it from spiritual teachings, preserving this knowledge only within carefully guarded mystery schools. The symbols you see today in ancient architecture, religious art, and sacred sites are not mere decorative elements. They are keys to unlocking the universe's creative force, waiting to be rediscovered by those ready to understand their significance. In a small European village, Beatrice sat at her workbench, fingers moving with otherworldly guidance as she stitched patterns into fabric. Without conscious awareness, she wove sacred geometries into her designs, the golden ratio in a hem, the flower of life in an embroidered bodice. Those who wore her creations reported remarkable changes in their lives, abundance flowing unexpectedly, relationships healing mysteriously, opportunities arising from nowhere. As word of these transformations spread, religious authorities examined her work with growing suspicion. They discovered what Beatrice herself had never realized. Her designs contained the very symbols their predecessors had worked to conceal. Under threat of persecution, she abandoned her distinctive patterns, though the power they channeled could never truly be suppressed. Your unconscious attraction to certain shapes, patterns, and numbers is no accident. When a particular symbol catches your eye, or a geometric design resonates deeply within you, your soul recognizes the cosmic language it once fluently spoke. These moments of recognition are invitations to reclaim your ability to communicate directly with the creative forces of the universe. To begin working with this sacred language, create or select a symbol that embodies your deepest desire. Spend time each day connecting with this symbol. Trace its form in the air with your finger. Draw it repeatedly on paper. And visualize it projected into the vast expanse of space. Through this practice, you re-establish direct communication with the universe in its native tongue, activating the ancient channels through which manifestation energy naturally flows. Chapter 7. The Alchemy of Thought. In the candle-lit chambers beneath Prague's ancient streets, Benjamin watched his master carefully measure mysterious powders and liquids. Night after night, he dutifully recorded complex formulas, believing they held the secret to turning lead into gold. Yet one fateful evening, as he studied the cryptic symbols in his master's most treasured manuscript, understanding struck like lightning. These were not instructions for transforming metals, but a coded guide for transmuting the very substance of thought itself. The true alchemy lies not in the transformation of physical elements, but in the sacred art of thought transmutation. Your mind continuously generates thoughts that shape the substance of your reality, much as an alchemist works with base metals. Yet while the alchemists of old claimed to seek the philosopher's stone, their encrypted writings actually detailed the process of elevating leaden thoughts into golden ones, the real source of all material transformation. This knowledge was concealed in elaborate chemical formulas and mystifying diagrams because its power threatened those who maintained control through promoting humanity's belief in limitation. The genuine alchemical process occurs within your consciousness, where thoughts of lack transform into visions of abundance, where fear transmutes into faith, where doubt becomes certainty. In a small New England village, Martha discovered her late husband's mysterious books hidden beneath the floorboards of their farmhouse. While others saw incomprehensible chemical formulas, she recognized the truth. These texts taught the art of transforming thought into reality. As drought threatened her farm and creditors circled, Martha secretly practiced the mental alchemy described in those ancient chapters. She transmuted her thoughts of failure into unwavering visions of prosperity, her fears of destitution into absolute knowledge of abundance. Gradually, inexplicably, circumstances shifted. Rain fell on her fields when neighboring farms remained dry. Her crops flourished beyond explanation. As her circumstances transformed, she kept the source of her success hidden, knowing her prosperity would be attributed to dark arts rather than the sacred science of thought alchemy. Just as Martha discovered, you possess the innate power to transmute the base metals of negative thinking into the gold of creative manifestation. Every thought you hold is like a substance in the alchemist's laboratory, waiting to be transformed through the application of universal law. Begin your practice of thought alchemy thus. Take paper and pen to a quiet space. With your non-dominant hand, write a persistent negative thought that has shaped your experience. Using your dominant hand, transform this thought into its positive essence, preserving the subject but elevating its vibration. Burn the negative thought with reverence, releasing its energy back to the universe. Carry the transmuted statement with you for 7 days, observing how this inner alchemy catalyzes outer change. Through this practice, you activate the true philosopher's stone, your own transformative consciousness. Chapter 8. The Keeper of Secrets. Along the rugged coast of Maine, where waves crash against weathered cliffs, Young Archibald discovered a leather-bound volume among the storm-tossed debris. The mysterious book, its chapters somehow dry despite its ocean journey, contained writings about an entity called the Keeper of the Gateway, a presence that could manifest any heart's desire. Night after night, as his father tended the lighthouse beam, Archibald studied the cryptic instructions until revelation dawned. This keeper, this powerful force, resided within his own mind. Your subconscious mind stands as the eternal gatekeeper between thought and manifestation, a truth hidden from those who would seek power over others. This sacred part of you determines which thoughts shall pass through the gateway of manifestation, accepting or rejecting them based on their resonance with your deepest beliefs. Like a vigilant guardian, it filters the thousands of thoughts that cross your consciousness daily, allowing only those that align with your inner truths to manifest in the physical realm. The ancient ones understood this inner keeper's power, encoding their knowledge in symbols and metaphors to preserve it for those ready to receive. Your subconscious mind speaks the language of symbol and emotion, responding not to logical argument but to the power of impression and belief. When you understand how to communicate with this faithful servant, you hold the key to transforming your reality. In a one-room schoolhouse in Depression-era Kansas, Hazel discovered her own gateway to manifestation. Each night she wrote heartfelt letters to what she called her inner guardian, requesting supplies for her struggling students or healing for those who fell ill. To her amazement, her requests manifested with uncanny precision. New books appeared from unexpected donors. Sick children recovered with surprising speed. She kept these letters private, knowing others would misunderstand her communion with this inner force. Like Hazel, you too have experienced moments when your deepest desires manifested after impressing them upon your mind in the quiet hours before sleep. These were not coincidences, but evidence of your subconscious mind accepting and acting upon your conscious requests. To begin your own dialogue with this inner keeper, establish a sacred practice in the moments before sleep. Write a clear, specific request to your subconscious mind, addressing it with respect due to a powerful ally. Then, using your non-dominant hand, allow your inner keeper to respond, revealing any resistance to your desire. Maintain this communion for 7 nights, creating a bridge between your conscious wishes and the guardian of manifestation within. Chapter 9. The Veiled Covenant. In the shadow of ancient Babylon's hanging gardens, Jeremiah, a devoted scholar of celestial mysteries, uncovered clay tablets buried beneath the temple grounds. As he carefully cleaned centuries of dust from their surface, his hands trembled at the revelation before him, precise instructions detailing humanity's divine contract with the universe itself. These tablets outlined exact laws of manifestation, each one as reliable and unchanging as the movement of stars across the night sky. The universe operates through immutable laws that govern every aspect of creation. Just as gravity functions whether you understand it or not, these laws of manifestation shape your reality with mathematical precision. Your thoughts and feelings generate specific vibrational frequencies that must, by universal law, attract their corresponding manifestations. This is not magic or mysticism, but the operation of cosmic principles as exact as any formula in nature. The law of correspondence ensures that your outer world mirrors your inner state with perfect accuracy. The law of cause and effect guarantees that every action, including thought, produces a specific result. These principles function constantly whether you consciously engage them or not. Understanding these laws transforms you from an unconscious creator to a deliberate architect of your experience. In the gaslit streets of Victorian London, Madeline discovered a leather-bound journal hidden in her grandmother's attic. Within its chapters, she found the laws of creation written in elegant script. Though her family's fortunes had dwindled and her husband scoffed at any mention of unseen forces, Madeline began applying these principles in secret. Within months, unexpected opportunities emerged, wise investments materialized, and her family's prosperity returned. She never revealed the source of her sudden wisdom, understanding that some truths must be discovered rather than taught. Your own life reveals your unconscious mastery of these laws. Every consistent pattern in your experience, wealth or lack, health or illness, harmony or conflict, demonstrates your natural alignment with universal principles. Those times when desired outcomes appeared mysteriously after intense focus were not coincidence, but evidence of your innate ability to work with these laws. To acknowledge your divine contract with these creative forces, perform this sacred ceremony. Under the vast night sky, write a formal declaration recognizing the universal laws at work in your life. Document specific instances where you unknowingly employed these principles, both to your benefit and detriment. State clearly how you now choose to work with these laws consciously. Sign this covenant and speak its words aloud to the stars, marking your transition from unconscious creator to willing participant in the divine contract of manifestation. Chapter 10. The Frequency of Creation. In a dimly lit workshop filled with pianos awaiting his skilled touch, Theodore moved with a grace that belied his blindness. His fingers, more sensitive than most people's eyes, detected subtle variations in tone that others could never perceive. One autumn evening, as he tuned a grand piano for a wealthy client, he noticed something extraordinary. The vibrations from certain notes seemed to alter the very atmosphere of the room. Through patient experimentation, he discovered that specific tonal frequencies could calm agitated house guests or energize lethargic servants. More remarkably, he realized that his own emotional states produced similar vibrational effects, invisibly shaping the world around him. The universe operates as an infinite field of vibrating energy, responding not to your conscious thoughts or carefully chosen words, but to the emotional frequencies you emit. Each feeling state broadcasts a unique energetic signature into this universal field, attracting circumstances, events, and experiences that match its precise frequency. The ancient sound healers understood this profound truth. Emotions are literally energy in motion, rippling outward through the quantum fabric of reality to draw forth corresponding manifestations. In a bustling wartime factory, Violet stood before her assigned machinery, noticing an unusual pattern. On days when she felt light and optimistic, the complex mechanisms ran smoothly, production quotas were easily met, and mechanical failures were rare. But when worry or frustration clouded her heart, the same machines would inexplicably malfunction. Through careful observation, she discovered she could prevent breakdowns and enhance productivity by consciously maintaining specific emotional states. She kept this knowledge to herself, knowing her supervisors would dismiss such insights as mere superstition. Your own life holds countless examples of this emotional frequency principle in action. Think of rooms whose entire atmosphere has shifted with your changing moods, or how certain emotional states have consistently preceded seemingly unrelated events in your experience. These were not coincidences, but demonstrations of your emotional vibration attracting its energetic match. To harness this vibrational law, create your personal emotional frequency scale. Begin with the heaviest feelings, despair, fear, anger, and progress upward through contentment, joy, and ecstasy. Spend 3 minutes intentionally generating each emotional state, observing its unique vibrational quality. Then, elevate yourself to your highest available frequency and maintain it for 7 minutes, imagining this emotional energy broadcasting like radio waves into the universe, magnetizing circumstances that resonate with your chosen vibration. Part 2: Unlocking the Ancient Codes of Creation. Chapter 11: The Manuscript of Destiny. In the bustling streets of 1850s Boston, a clerk named Walter spent his days recording mundane transactions in leather-bound ledgers. One evening, as he mended a cracked binding, a weathered scroll slipped from between the ancient chapters. The mysterious text spoke of humanity's power to consciously author their destiny, a revelation that shattered his acceptance of a predetermined life. Through applying these teachings, Walter's existence transformed from ordinary to extraordinary until his employer discovered and burned the manuscript, claiming such knowledge threatened the natural order of society. The truth lies before you now. Your life is not a predetermined script, but a blank page awaiting your conscious authorship. Throughout history, those in power have deliberately promoted the illusion of fixed destiny to prevent humanity from recognizing their inherent creative authority. Your thoughts are not mere responses to life, but powerful instruments that inscribe future experiences upon the fabric of reality itself. Each belief you hold, each story you tell yourself about what is possible, becomes a line in the manuscript of your existence. In the 1920s Chicago, a young woman named Sophia learned an extraordinary secret from her grandmother. In hushed evening sessions, she was taught to write her fate through specific practices of focused intention. Through these mysterious techniques, Sophia manifested opportunities that society deemed impossible for women of her time, attending university, establishing her own business, and traveling the world independently. She carefully guarded these practices, knowing that openly defying society's limitations could bring dangerous consequences. Like Sophia, you have been taught to view your circumstances as fixed and predetermined. The story of your limitations, what you can achieve, who you can become, what possibilities are available to you, was written by others and handed to you as truth. Yet within you lies the same power that Sophia accessed, waiting to be recognized and reclaimed. The time has come to take up the quill of conscious creation. Obtain a blank journal. This will become your book of becoming. Each morning, spend 11 sacred minutes writing your life story in the present tense, as though your desired reality already exists. Begin each entry with the words, "I am now," and allow your deepest truths to flow onto the page. Read your words aloud with authority, for in doing so, you declare your rightful power as the author of your own existence. This is not mere wishful thinking, but the ancient practice of conscious reality creation, hidden from those deemed unworthy of its power, now restored to your knowing hands. Chapter 12: The Forbidden Rituals of Desire. In the sun-baked sands of Egypt, 1934, Edmund Blackwood's hands trembled as he descended into a chamber untouched by human presence for millennia. The hieroglyphs that adorned the walls were unlike any he had encountered, not historical records or prayers to ancient gods, but precise instructions for ceremonies that could bend reality itself to one's will. His colleagues, upon witnessing his initial translations, moved swiftly to suppress the discovery. Such knowledge would destabilize the very foundations of society, they claimed, forcing Edmund to establish a covert organization dedicated to preserving these sacred teachings. You stand now at the threshold of understanding these powerful truths. The ancients knew what modern spiritual teachings have deliberately obscured, that specific ceremonial practices amplify your manifestation power exponentially. Through precise combinations of movement, sound, and timing, you can align your entire being with the creative forces of the universe. These were not mere superstitions, but sophisticated technologies of consciousness, systematically removed from religious and spiritual texts to prevent humanity from accessing their full creative potential. In 1868, a housekeeper named Harriet discovered a leather-bound volume hidden behind a false panel in her employer's vast library. By candlelight in her attic room, she studied the mysterious manifestation ceremonies detailed within its chapters. Each dawn, while the household slept, she would perform these sacred rites, combining specific gestures with carefully chosen words. As her circumstances began to transform mysteriously, her fellow servants grew suspicious of her early morning activities. Before she was forced to flee, she committed every ritual to memory, understanding that this knowledge was too precious to lose. Your own life contains echoes of these ancient practices. When you straighten your space before beginning an important project, when you wear a particular item of clothing for good fortune, when you follow specific morning routines on significant days, these are not mere habits but unconscious ceremonies, your soul's recognition of the power of ritual in manifestation. The time has come to reclaim these sacred technologies of creation. Begin by establishing a dedicated space in your home for manifestation work. Place objects that symbolize your desire: a key for new opportunities, a rose for love, a coin for prosperity, arranged in a triangle formation. For 7 consecutive days, greet the rising sun in this space. Stand facing east, arms raised in a V position, and speak your intention 9 times with increasing volume. Choose a small object, a crystal, ring, or coin, to rest in this sacred space during your morning ritual. Carry this charged talisman with you, allowing it to anchor your ceremonial energy in the physical world throughout your day. Chapter 13. The Lost Tablets of Abundance. In the gaslit shadows of old New York, Cornelius Matthews swept the dusty floors of his failing shop, unaware that destiny awaited in an ornate Victorian cabinet recently acquired at auction. As he traced his fingers along its intricate woodwork, a hidden compartment revealed itself, containing 7 tablets that gleamed with otherworldly radiance. Each bore inscriptions in an ancient script that, when translated, unveiled the very principles of abundance that banking institutions had labored for centuries to conceal. You must understand that abundance flows eternally through the universe like an infinite river. The notion of scarcity, the belief that there is not enough for all, represents the greatest deception ever perpetrated upon humanity. This artificial limitation has been carefully programmed into the collective consciousness, creating a prison of lack where none naturally exists. Just as water cannot be truly owned, abundance belongs to no institution or individual but flows freely to those who align with its eternal principles. The 7 laws of prosperity reveal that wealth manifests not through hoarding or competition, but through conscious alignment with the universal flow of abundance. When you recognize that prosperity is your natural state, that limitation exists only in thought, your experience of material reality transforms accordingly. These principles operate with mathematical precision, independent of external economic conditions or circumstances. During America's darkest financial hour, Esther Sullivan discovered her grandfather's leather journal tucked away in her attic. Within its weathered chapters lay the abundance formulas, precise instructions for tapping into prosperity's eternal flow. While her neighbors struggled amid the Great Depression, Esther applied these principles in secret, manifesting unexpected abundance that defied the economic collapse around her. As her circumstances flourished mysteriously, locals whispered about hidden inheritance or unseen benefactors, never suspecting that she had simply remembered what humanity had been made to forget. Your own financial story reflects not the vagaries of markets or the limits of opportunity, but your deepest beliefs about abundance. Every feast and famine in your life has emerged from your consciousness, manifesting your expectations of prosperity or lack with perfect precision. The fluctuations in your material circumstances mirror only the ebb and flow of your abundance consciousness. To reclaim your natural state of prosperity, create 7 tablets using sheets of golden paper. Upon each, inscribe one of the eternal principles of abundance revealed in this chapter. Arrange these tablets in a sacred circle around you during morning meditation, allowing their ancient wisdom to penetrate your consciousness. Afterward, place each tablet in a different location throughout your home, by your entrance, near your workspace, beside your bed, creating a continuous field of abundance awareness in your daily environment. Before we get into the next chapter, you can download a free ebook version of this audiobook using the link in the pinned comment below this video. Chapter 14. The Guardians of Doubt. In the fog-shrouded streets of Victorian London, Jonathan Sterling's workshop blazed with candlelight as he labored over his latest invention, a device that promised to revolutionize steam power. Like his previous 9 attempts, this breakthrough hovered tantalizingly close to completion. Yet as dawn approached, a mysterious fire erupted, reducing his work to ashes. This marked not his first brush with inexplicable sabotage, but it led him to an extraordinary discovery. Hidden within a salvaged book was an ancient manuscript revealing the existence of thought guardians, internal forces that arise whenever one attempts to transcend the boundaries of established belief. You must understand that doubt serves not as your enemy, but as a sentinel protecting the reality you have carefully constructed. These guardians manifest with precise calibration, creating internal resistance and external obstacles proportional to the magnitude of change you seek to create. They emerge not to halt your progress, but to ensure that transformative power does not destabilize your entire being at once. When Rebecca Anderson began healing the sick in her small frontier town in 1847, her remarkable abilities drew first whispers, then open hostility. Yet an aged medicine woman recognized the true source of Rebecca's struggles, not the townspeople's accusations, but Rebecca's own internal guardians working to prevent her from accessing abilities that would forever transform her identity. Through this mentor's guidance, Rebecca learned to gradually bypass these inner sentinels, expanding her power without triggering their protective response. Your own journey mirrors Rebecca's path. Each time you have approached a significant manifestation, one that would fundamentally alter your life, you have encountered resistance calibrated precisely to maintain your familiar reality. The doubts that arise, the obstacles that emerge, even the well-meaning concerns of others all serve as expressions of these guardians working to maintain your established world. To transcend these protective forces, begin a sacred dialogue with your doubt. Choose a quiet moment and write a conversation between yourself and the guardian that most persistently arises when you pursue your deepest desire. Allow this guardian to express its protective purpose fully. Then craft a formal agreement, acknowledging its concern while firmly declaring your intention to expand beyond current limitations. Return to this dialogue practice whenever resistance emerges, gradually building trust with these ancient protectors of your consciousness. Chapter 15. The Sacred Geometry of Time. In the quiet precision of his workshop in Geneva, Henry Aldrich bent over his workbench, surrounded by the rhythmic ticking of countless timepieces. His reputation for crafting the world's most accurate watches had drawn admirers from across Europe. Yet on this fateful evening, as he restored an ancient astronomical clock, he discovered hidden compartments containing diagrams unlike any he had seen. Sacred geometries revealing time not as an arrow, but as an intricate spiral dance of manifestation opportunities. You must understand that time flows not in the linear progression you have been taught to accept. The ancients knew what modern society has forgotten, that existence moves in cycles within cycles, creating windows of heightened manifestation power. These sacred rhythms govern not only the seasons and celestial bodies, but the very essence of creation itself. When Lillian Matthews inherited a curious almanac from her grandmother in 1912, she discovered chapters filled with mysterious symbols and charts that tracked far more than weather patterns. Between its weathered covers lay a profound system for mapping the seasons of the soul, optimal periods when desires planted in the fertile soil of consciousness would bloom with supernatural speed. As drought ravaged neighboring farms, Lillian's land flourished through her secret alignment with these cosmic cycles. To preserve this knowledge without raising suspicion, she passed it to her daughter, encoded in seemingly simple gardening wisdom. Plant your intentions like seeds, child, but watch the signs to know when the soul's soil is most fertile. These cycles of creation operate in your life whether you recognize them or not. Think back to periods when manifestation seemed effortless, when opportunities aligned perfectly and desires materialized with surprising ease. Contrast these with times when even your most determined efforts meet with resistance. These were not random fluctuations, but expressions of universal rhythms you had unknowingly encountered. To harness these sacred cycles, begin by creating your personal manifestation calendar. Take note of the moon's phases and their alignment with your birth date. Track the timing of your past successes, looking for patterns that reveal your unique windows of enhanced creative power. During these optimal periods, perform your intention-setting ceremonies with the knowledge that you are working in harmony with the universe's natural rhythms of manifestation. Chapter 16, The Clandestine Art of Visualization. In the dank confines of a stone prison cell in 1783, Augustus Walsh discovered something extraordinary. While scratching mindlessly at the crumbling mortar between ancient stones, his fingers revealed a hidden cavity containing carefully preserved scrolls. In the dim light filtering through iron bars, he unfolded teachings that would transform his understanding of manifestation forever. The scrolls revealed a practice far more precise than mere wishful thinking. They detailed how masters of antiquity created living thought forms, mental images so vivid they bridged the gap between imagination and reality. Through this method, Augustus engineered what seemed impossible, his own freedom, manifesting a series of unlikely events that led to his release within weeks of beginning the practice. You must understand that visualization is not the vague process you have been taught. The mystery schools of old knew that the precision of your mental imagery directly determines the speed and accuracy of manifestation. Every detail you add to your mental picture serves as a blueprint the universe uses to construct your reality. The ancient masters understood how specific colors amplify manifestation power. Gold for abundance, deep blue for wisdom, vibrant green for growth. They knew that adding movement, sound, and sensation to mental images creates a magnetic force that draws the desired reality closer. This knowledge was systematically removed from spiritual teachings, deemed too powerful for the masses to possess. In 1943, Charlotte Reynolds found her grandmother's leather-bound journal hidden beneath floorboards in her attic studio. Within its chapters, she discovered the picture method, a precise system for creating mental images while in a specific state of consciousness. Using these techniques, Charlotte manifested a series of prestigious illustration commissions in an industry that rarely welcomed women. When questioned about her sudden success, she smiled and attributed it to fortunate timing, knowing the true power of her grandmother's teachings must remain hidden. Your own life bears witness to this truth. Think of times when vivid mental images preceded unexpected events. A clear picture in your mind manifesting in physical form days or weeks later. These were not coincidences, but evidence of your natural visualization power operating even without conscious direction. To harness this ancient science, begin a 3-phase visualization ceremony. Start with simple outlines of your desire, holding the image for 3 minutes daily. Progress to adding color and movement for 5 minutes, then advance to full sensory immersion for 7 minutes. Record the clarity of each session in your manifestation journal, noting how the precision of your mental pictures correlates with the speed of physical manifestation. Chapter 17. The Alchemy of Emotions. In the pristine laboratory of Cambridge University, 1923, Winston Blackwood made a discovery that would shatter the foundations of conventional science. Late one evening, while organizing ancient texts from a recent archaeological expedition, he uncovered a manuscript that detailed how human emotions generate measurable energy fields capable of altering physical matter. Through meticulous experimentation, Winston observed how different emotional states produced varying effects on chemical reactions. Joy accelerated crystallization processes, while anger created chaotic molecular patterns. His colleagues scoffed at his initial findings until he demonstrated, under controlled conditions, how sustained emotional states could consistently alter the outcome of chemical experiments. This revelation mirrors a profound truth about the nature of manifestation. Your emotions are not merely feelings. They are tangible forces that ripple through the fabric of reality. Each emotional state generates a specific vibrational frequency that either attracts or repels your desires. The ancient masters understood that manifestation occurs most powerfully not through thought alone, but through deliberately generated emotional states that activate the creative process. During the Great War, Amelia Crawford discovered this truth through her work as a field nurse. While treating soldiers in a makeshift hospital near the French border, she noticed that patients under her care recovered at remarkably different rates depending on her emotional state while treating them. Through careful observation, she developed what she privately called emotional infusion, maintaining specific feeling states while administering care that produced healing results that defied medical explanation. As other nurses began questioning her methods, Amelia carefully disguised her emotional alchemy as standard medical procedure. She documented her findings in a private journal, recording how different emotional frequencies affected various conditions. Joy and serenity accelerated healing, while doubt or anxiety seemed to slow recovery, regardless of the treatment provided. Your own experiences confirm this hidden principle. Think back to moments when your desires manifested unexpectedly. You'll find these manifestations coincided with periods of heightened emotional states. Whether through excitement, unwavering faith, or profound peace, your emotions unknowingly activated your creative power. To harness this ancient science, begin an emotional transmutation ritual, a sacred practice known to mystic healers throughout the ages. Create a feeling wheel, identifying 12 distinct emotional states, arranged from lowest to highest vibration. Start with emotions like despair and fear, moving through states of contentment and hope until you reach the pinnacle frequencies of pure joy and unconditional love. Practice generating each state intentionally for 2 minutes daily, noting how each frequency feels in your body. The subtle tingles, waves of warmth, or expansive lightness that accompanies different emotional planes. Pay special attention to where these sensations gather and how they flow through your being. Culminate this practice with 11 minutes of immersion in your highest vibrational emotion, directing this pure creative force toward your most significant desire. During these precious moments, let your entire being resonate with this elevated state, knowing that you are wielding one of the universe's most potent forces of manifestation. Chapter 18. The Forbidden Chambers of Faith. In the fading light of a stormy evening in 1847, Captain Nathaniel Blackwood's ship encountered treacherous waters near an uncharted island in the South Pacific. As waves threatened to tear his vessel apart, a mysterious light from the island's peak guided him to safe harbor. There, he discovered an ancient monastery where monks had maintained an unbroken meditation practice for 5 centuries. The monks called their practice knowing beyond seeing, a state of consciousness transcending mere belief or hope. Through this discipline, they manifested everything their isolated community needed, from food to building materials, through unwavering certainty alone. The power of their practice was so profound that visitors were bound by sacred oath never to reveal their methods to the outside world. This revelation illuminates a truth long hidden from spiritual seekers. Faith is not blind belief, but a creative force that shapes reality itself. When you achieve absolute certainty, a knowing beyond all doubt, you generate a manifestation field that collapses quantum possibilities into physical form. This level of knowing was deliberately removed from religious and spiritual teachings, for those in power understood that believers who accessed this state would no longer require intermediaries between themselves and the divine. In the harsh years of America's Dust Bowl, Elizabeth Morgan discovered a leather-bound journal in her grandfather's attic. Within its weathered chapters, she found detailed instructions for what he called the certainty, a practice of unshakable knowing that defied external circumstances. As her small prairie school struggled with dwindling supplies, Elizabeth began practicing this technique in secret, manifesting essential resources for her students when all hope seemed lost. To avoid unwanted attention, she carefully attributed these mysterious provisions to community charity, understanding that others would reject the true source of such abundance. And your own life contains moments that mirror Elizabeth's experience. Think back to those rare instances when you knew, beyond all logic or evidence, that something would manifest. In these moments of pure certainty, untainted by doubt, your most extraordinary manifestations occurred. These were not coincidences but glimpses of your natural creative power operating through unwavering faith. To access this state of knowing beyond seeing, create a chamber of knowing through this ancient practice. Twice daily, enter a meditative state where you cultivate complete certainty regarding your desire. Maintain this absolute knowledge for 7 minutes, allowing no contradictory thoughts to enter your consciousness. Gradually extend this state of certainty into your daily activities until your knowledge remains unshaken, even when external reality appears to oppose it. Chapter 19. The Cosmic Ledger. In the gaslit streets of Victorian London, Harrison Whitmore's life followed the predictable rhythm of numbers and ledgers at Blackwood & Sons Accounting. One evening, while searching for misplaced records, he discovered a hidden door behind a heavy bookcase. Inside, illuminated by his trembling candlelight, lay scrolls covered in mysterious symbols that blended mathematical formulas with ancient wisdom. These scrolls revealed the universal accounting system, a perfect energetic balance governing all creation. You see, just as Harrison's ledgers tracked monetary debits and credits, the universe maintains an exacting record of all energetic exchanges. This cosmic bookkeeping system operates with unwavering precision, ensuring that what you receive correlates exactly with the value you contribute to the world. The truth that has been hidden from you is profound. Abundance flows not from taking or hoarding, but from strategic giving. When you understand this universal law, you realize that every thought, action, and intention represents an energetic deposit or withdrawal. The secret to manifestation lies in making conscious, intentional contributions of value, knowing the universe must balance these inputs with corresponding returns. During the darkest days of the Great Depression, Olivia Patterson discovered an unusual journal while cleaning her grandmother's attic. Within its chapters, she found the Prosperity Balance Sheet, a system for tracking and adjusting energetic exchanges. While other shops closed their doors, Olivia's small store thrived as she applied these principles, carefully disguising her methods as ordinary bookkeeping to avoid unwanted questions about her unprecedented success during economic collapse. Your own life reveals this universal accounting at work. Think back to periods when unexpected abundance flowed into your experience. You'll notice these times often follow moments of genuine giving, whether through acts of kindness, sharing of knowledge, or contribution of value to others. Conversely, when you've operated from a mindset of scarcity and withholding, you've likely experienced corresponding limitations, as the universe maintained its perfect equilibrium. To harness this cosmic law, create your personal universal ledger, an ancient practice known to mystics and sages throughout time. Each evening, as the day's activities settle into memory, record your energetic contributions across 7 fundamental life areas: relationships, finances, health, creativity, wisdom, service, and spiritual growth. Like a devoted keeper of sacred records, identify those areas where your energetic deposits have been minimal or lacking in authentic intention. Then, with reverent purpose, perform a daily ceremony of intentional giving in your most imbalanced category, knowing that each genuine contribution sets divine forces into motion. Document with careful attention the manifestations that arrive, sometimes subtle, sometimes profound, as the universe moves with perfect precision to maintain its eternal equilibrium. Through this transformative practice handed down through generations of spiritual seekers, you'll begin consciously participating in the perfect cosmic accounting system that governs all creation, aligning yourself with the very forces that orchestrate the dance of abundance throughout existence. Chapter 20. The Temple of Words. In the bustling streets of colonial Philadelphia, young Gideon Matthews labored diligently at Wallace & Sons Printing, setting type and binding books with meticulous care. One autumn evening, while organizing ancient manuscripts in the shop's basement, he discovered a collection of weathered papers hidden within a false compartment of an old printing press. The documents, written in a peculiar mix of English and symbols, revealed an astonishing truth. Spoken words create precise vibrational patterns that physically shape reality itself. Through these manuscripts, a profound truth emerges that has been hidden from you across the ages. Your spoken words are not mere expressions of thought, but architectural tools that construct the very fabric of your experience. Each syllable, each carefully chosen phrase, generates specific vibrational frequencies that ripple through the quantum field, solidifying into physical manifestation with mathematical precision. Ancient masters understood this power, developing precise verbal technologies that could manifest desires with extraordinary speed and accuracy. Yet this knowledge was systematically obscured, The texts describing these techniques often destroyed by those who feared the power of an awakened populace speaking their reality into being with conscious intention. In the golden age of radio, Isabel Montgomery discovered an unusual leather-bound journal while clearing her grandfather's study. Within its chapters lay the verbal formulas, precise patterns of speech that, when properly intoned, possessed remarkable manifestation power. As her star rose unexpectedly in the competitive world of radio drama, she carefully guarded the source of her success, practicing these ancient speech patterns only in the privacy of her apartment while attributing her good fortune to conventional factors. Your own life bears witness to this hidden truth. Think back to moments when your spoken words seemed to instantly shift your reality, declarations made with unusual conviction that manifested with surprising speed. Equally telling are those times when your desires remained unfulfilled, blocked by unconscious verbal patterns that created energetic resistance without your awareness. To access this transformative power, create your personal manifestation declaration using specific vowel and consonant combinations that maximize vibrational resonance. Through centuries of mystic practice, certain sound patterns have proven especially potent, those that combine open vowels with resonant consonants like N and R. Record yourself speaking this declaration with precise intonation, maintaining awareness of rhythm and emphasis. The cadence should flow naturally like water over stones, neither crushed nor hesitant. Listen to this recording upon waking and before sleeping, allowing these powerful sound frequencies to reshape your energetic field. These transitional times, dawn and dusk, hold special significance as the veils between intention and manifestation grow thinner. Throughout your day, remain conscious of your word choices, eliminating phrases that unconsciously sabotage your creative power. Notice how often you may unknowingly speak against your desires through casual complaints or expressions of doubt. Replace these with words that align with your highest vision, for every utterance shapes the invisible matrix of possibility around you. Part 3. Mastering the Forbidden Arts. Chapter 21. The Master Key. In the gaslit streets of 1890s New Orleans, Franklin Thaddeus worked diligently at his locksmith shop, crafting keys that opened the finest homes and businesses in the French Quarter. His reputation for solving the most challenging locks drew clients from across the city, yet his greatest discovery came not through metal and mechanism, but through yellowed chapters found beneath the floorboards of his shop, an ancient manuscript revealing the existence of a universal key that transcended physical form. This hidden wisdom illuminates a truth kept secret through ages. All manifestation principles, when properly integrated, form a master key to reality itself. While individual techniques produce limited results, their unified application creates an exponential explosion of creative power. Just as a master locksmith understands how multiple pins must align perfectly to open a complex lock, you must learn to align multiple manifestation principles simultaneously to unlock reality's deeper potentials. The manuscript revealed precise instructions for weaving separate manifestation practices into a unified field of creative power. Visualization without emotional charge remains merely imagination. Certainty without aligned speech creates internal conflict. Each principle represents one tumbler in reality's lock. All must engage in perfect harmony for the door to swing open. In the 1920s Paris, Victoria Laurent discovered an unusual journal hidden in her grandmother's sewing box. Within its chapters lay the pattern of patterns, detailed instructions for combining distinct manifestation practices into a seamless whole. As she applied these teachings, Her modest seamstress shop transformed into one of the city's most sought-after fashion houses. She seemed to anticipate exactly what the market desired months before trends emerged, though she carefully attributed her success to conventional fashion industry expertise. Your own manifestation journey reflects this truth. Think back to your most remarkable creations, those moments when reality shifted with unexpected speed and grace. You'll find these weren't the result of a single technique, but occurred when you unknowingly combined multiple principles. Perhaps you held a clear vision while maintaining unwavering certainty, speaking words of power from a state of elevated emotion. In these moments, you unconsciously created the alignment that opens reality's deepest doors. To access this integrative power, create your personal manifestation mandala on paper, placing each principle you've learned at specific points around the circle. Position yourself at the center for 11 minutes daily, consciously drawing energy from each point simultaneously. As you maintain this practice, you'll begin to experience the unified field that emerges when all principles operate as one integrated force, the master key to conscious creation itself. Chapter 22, The Sacred Union. In the hallowed halls of Vienna's most prestigious university in 1910, Professor Alexander Rothschild uncovered ancient scrolls that would forever transform his understanding of human potential. Hidden within a collection of theological texts, these manuscripts revealed the divine marriage, a sacred union between conscious intention and subconscious belief that ancient temples had once celebrated through elaborate ceremonies. The true power of manifestation emerges not from conscious will alone, but from the perfect harmony between your conscious desires and subconscious acceptance. This sacred union was symbolized throughout history in alchemical texts as the marriage of king and queen, the masculine force of directed intention, joining with the feminine power of subconscious creation. When these aspects align, manifestation occurs with supernatural speed and precision. Yet this inner division was not accidental. Educational systems and religious institutions have long perpetuated separation between conscious and subconscious aspects of self, preventing humanity from accessing their full creative power. By maintaining this artificial divide, these institutions ensure that most manifestation attempts remain fragmented and ineffective. In the 1870s, Boston, Catherine Blackwood discovered leather-bound journals hidden in her late husband's study. Within these chapters lay detailed descriptions of the inner alignment, precise techniques for harmonizing conscious goals with subconscious beliefs. Applying these methods, she transformed his failed shipping company into a thriving enterprise. When questioned about her remarkable success, she simply produced her husband's meticulously kept business records, never revealing the true source of her prosperity. Your own manifestation journey reveals this inner divide. How often have you set clear intentions, taken inspired action, yet found yourself falling just short of your desired outcome? These near manifestations reveal the misalignment between your conscious desires and subconscious beliefs. One aspect pushes forward while the other pulls back, creating a frustrating pattern of almost but not quite achieving your intentions. To heal this divide, create written wedding vows between your conscious and subconscious minds, forging an unbreakable bond between these two essential aspects of your being. Choose two objects to represent each aspect, perhaps a crystal for your conscious mind and a candle for your subconscious, allowing their symbolic union to mirror the inner marriage you seek to create. Each morning, in a sacred moment of quiet contemplation, place these symbols together while reading your vows aloud, acknowledging both aspects as equal partners in your creative process. Let your words carry the weight of true commitment, speaking to both the logical mind that plans and the intuitive depths that dream. Maintain a daily journal recording the synchronistic events that begin occurring as your inner harmony strengthens, noting how seemingly random occurrences align with your intentions. Watch in reverence as your manifestation power grows through this sacred union, for when conscious and subconscious move as one, the universe itself conspires to fulfill your deepest desires. Chapter 23. The Veiled Doorways. In the dimly lit basement of Westbrook University in 1942, Clarence Matthews swept the floors each evening, unaware that destiny awaited him behind a loose brick in the foundation wall. One night, as his broom struck this weathered stone, it shifted to reveal a small cavity containing leather-bound manuscripts. These ancient texts spoke of invisible doorways, portals to extraordinary possibilities that exist within the fabric of ordinary moments. Your daily life overflows with these hidden thresholds of manifestation. They appear as chance encounters, unexpected delays, or subtle nudges that most dismiss as coincidence. Yet these moments are actually carefully orchestrated openings, manifestation portals responding to your deeper intentions. Like sunlight filtering through leaves, these doorways shimmer briefly before your consciousness, offering passage to realities you've been calling forth. The ancient texts reveal that manifestation rarely arrives through obvious channels. Instead, it flows through these veiled entrances, requiring a refined perception to recognize and step through them with conscious intention. What appears as an ordinary lunch invitation might be the threshold to your next great opportunity. A wrong turn could lead to the very connection you've been manifesting. In 1934 Chicago, Winifred Sullivan worked as a clerk at Marshall Field's department store when she inherited a curious pair of spectacles from her Aunt Adelaide. Through these lenses, she witnessed something extraordinary, shimmering doorways appearing in the most mundane places. A conversation with a delivery boy revealed itself as a portal to an executive position. A misplaced document became the threshold to unprecedented opportunity. Following specific thoughts written in her aunt's journal while passing through these portals, Winifred rose from shop girl to corporate leadership in an era when women rarely held such positions. She never revealed the source of her remarkable ascent, understanding that some secrets must remain hidden to maintain their power. Your own life reflects this pattern. Think of times when seemingly insignificant moments led to profound transformations, while carefully planned opportunities yielded nothing. These experiences reveal the non-linear nature of manifestation, how your desires often arrive through unexpected doorways rather than obvious paths. To develop your portal awareness, create a doorway journal, recording daily synchronicities, unusual encounters, and unexpected invitations. Note even the smallest coincidences. A stranger mentioning exactly what you were thinking, a book falling open to a meaningful passage, or a chance meeting that sparks an opportunity. Before sleeping each night, perform a threshold visualization, mentally stepping through these openings with conscious intention. See yourself crossing through doorways of light, each passage representing a gateway to your highest potential. Feel the energy shift as you move through these ethereal portals. Remain alert to how these intentional crossings manifest in your waking hours, understanding that every moment contains the potential for extraordinary transformation. The universe speaks in whispers and signs, revealing pathways that often go unnoticed by those moving unconsciously through life. Your awareness of these subtle gateways will grow stronger with practice, attuning you to the sacred doors that appear in the midst of ordinary days. Chapter 24. The Celestial Alignment. In the hallowed halls of Cambridge Observatory, Reginald Blackwood spent countless nights studying the heavens through his telescope. Yet his most significant discovery came not from gazing upward, but from a collection of weathered manuscripts found beneath the observatory's floorboards during renovations in 1853. These ancient texts revealed something extraordinary. The true purpose of temple architecture across civilizations was to harness rare planetary alignments that amplified manifestation power. You see, these celestial alignments were not merely astronomical events, but mathematical representations of an inner harmony achievable through precise spiritual practice. The ancient builders understood that external cosmic conjunctions mirrored the powerful creative force generated when one's internal elements aligned in perfect resonance. When your thoughts, emotions, words, and actions achieve complete congruence, you create an internal celestial event more powerful than any planetary conjunction. Like planets moving into perfect geometric relationships, this inner alignment generates a supernatural creative force that accelerates manifestation beyond ordinary limits. Yet when these elements fall out of harmony, when thoughts contradict emotions, or words misalign with actions, they create energetic interference that disperses your creative power. In 1924, Margaret Wheeler taught at a one-room schoolhouse in rural Minnesota when she discovered her grandfather's leather-bound journal hidden in the family Bible. Within its chapters, she found the harmony method, precise techniques for achieving perfect alignment between internal elements. As the Great Depression tightened its grip on the community, Margaret quietly practiced these methods, focusing on manifesting a new school building despite the seemingly impossible financial circumstances. Through daily practice, she brought her thoughts of abundant resources into alignment with feelings of gratitude and certainty, matched her words to reflect unwavering faith, and took inspired actions that reflected absolute confidence in the outcome. Within months, a series of unexpected donations and volunteer support materialized, resulting in the construction of a new schoolhouse that the community attributed to collective spirit rather than Margaret's hidden manifestation practice. Your own life has witnessed these moments of supernatural manifestation speed, times when your thoughts, feelings, words, and actions spontaneously align in perfect harmony regarding a specific desire. In these rare instances of complete internal congruence, your manifestations have arrived with extraordinary swiftness, as though cosmic forces conspired to accelerate their creation. To harness this power consciously, create a daily alignment chart tracking the harmony between your thoughts, emotions, speech, and actions regarding your primary desire. For 7 consecutive days, perform a progressive alignment ritual, methodically bringing these elements into greater resonance. Culminate this practice with an 11-minute internal conjunction meditation, experiencing the amplified creative force that emerges when all aspects of your being unite in perfect creative harmony. Chapter 25. The Forbidden Decree. In the untamed wilderness of 1870s Montana Territory, Justice Maxwell Whitmore presided over a frontier town ravaged by lawlessness. Among the dusty volumes in his private library, he discovered an ancient leather-bound tome that spoke of the royal command, a sacred practice of speaking with such absolute authority that reality itself bends to execute the declaration. Within those weathered chapters lay a truth so powerful it transformed Maxwell's understanding of creation itself. As he began implementing these principles, speaking with unwavering certainty during his rulings, the town's violent nature began to shift. Peace emerged not through force of arms, but through the sheer authority of his words. Yet his unprecedented success drew dangerous attention, and threatening letters forced him to disguise his methods beneath the veneer of conventional law enforcement. You see, when you speak with the authority of absolute certainty, you activate a level of creative power that transcends ordinary manifestation. This is not the voice of a petitioner asking the universe for favors, but the voice of a sovereign creator commanding reality itself. Throughout history, this knowledge was deliberately removed from spiritual teachings, preventing believers from claiming their true creative authority. In 1904, Josephine Barrett served as head housekeeper in one of Boston's wealthiest households. While organizing her employer's library, she discovered a journal hidden behind a loose panel, describing what it called the voice of creation. These teachings revealed the transformative power of speaking as though manifestation was already complete. Implementing these practices in private, Josephine began transforming her circumstances with remarkable speed, though she carefully maintained an appearance of humble gratitude to deflect attention from her methods. Your own life contains moments that mirror Josephine's experience, those rare occasions when you've spoken with absolute certainty, free from any trace of doubt or hesitation. In these instances, your words carried such authority that manifestation followed with supernatural speed, as though reality itself rushed to execute your command. To harness this sovereign creative power that lies dormant within you, create a formal declaration of your most important desire, written in the present tense as an accomplished fact. Stand in a position of power. Feet firmly planted, spine straight, shoulders back. And speak this decree aloud daily, with the unwavering authority of one who knows their words shape reality itself. Feel the resonance of each syllable as it emerges from the depths of your being. With each practice, eliminate all traces of pleading or uncertainty from your voice until you embody the absolute sovereignty that commands rather than requests manifestation. Let your tone reflect the certainty of the ages, for you speak not as a supplicant, but as one who understands the ancient truth that creation awaits your word. In time, you will recognize that this practice awakens something profound within you, an innate power that has always been yours to claim. Chapter 26, The Alcove of Surrender. In the bustling streets of 1920s Chicago, where ambition flowed as freely as bootleg spirits, Bernard Mitchell pursued wealth with relentless determination. Despite his meticulous application of manifestation techniques, each effort seemed to yield diminishing returns until frustration became his constant companion. Then, one rain-soaked evening in the depths of his office building's antiquated library, he discovered a manuscript bound in midnight blue leather. Its chapters revealed the final chamber, a teaching so counterintuitive it challenged everything he understood about manifestation. This sacred text spoke of a paradoxical state where complete surrender activated creative powers beyond all effortful techniques. The truth you now uncover stands in stark contrast to conventional manifestation wisdom. The pinnacle of creative mastery lies not in perfecting your control, but in releasing it entirely. This teaching was often concealed or reserved as the final revelation because it so thoroughly contradicts the ego's desperate grasp for certainty. When you surrender attachment to outcomes, you create an opening through which manifestation flows naturally. Your striving, though born of sincere intention, creates resistance to the very experiences you seek to attract. This seeming contradiction reveals why your most significant manifestations have often arrived precisely when you released your grip upon them. In the 1890s Paris, young Eliza Dumont struggled for recognition in the competitive art world. Despite diligently applying visualization techniques and affirmations, success remained elusive. Until one evening, an elderly mentor shared with her the secret of the empty canvas, a practice of creating while completely surrendered to divine guidance. As Eliza abandoned her striving and allowed her brush to be guided by a higher wisdom, an effortless flow of inspired work emerged. The recognition she had chased for so long arrived naturally, drawn to the authentic expression that could only emerge through surrender. To embrace this paradoxical power, perform a sacred ceremony of release, one practiced by mystics and sages throughout the ages. Write your most cherished desire on dissolving paper, then place it in clear water while affirming your complete trust in divine timing. Watch with peaceful detachment as the words dissolve before your eyes, symbolizing the release of your attachment to outcomes. Each day, practice paradoxical intention, consciously releasing what you previously grasped, surrendering your need to control the how and when of manifestation. Record in your journal the surprising freedom and inspiration that emerges as attachment dissolves, opening the way for genuine co-creation with the universe. You will discover that in this sacred space of surrender, your desires manifest with an ease and grace that striving could never achieve. The universe responds not to desperate clinging, but to the open hand that trusts in perfect timing. Chapter 27. The Covenant of Becoming. In the dimly lit study of a modest Manhattan apartment, Lawrence Porter hunched over his typewriter, rejection letters scattered across his desk like fallen leaves. Though his novel showed promise, publishers deemed his voice not yet developed enough. His fortunes changed when he discovered ancient scrolls hidden within a second-hand book, revealing the mystical practice of the future self-agreement. These sacred teachings unveil a truth long hidden from those seeking to manifest their desires. Your creative power flows not from who you have been, but from who you are becoming. When you enter into agreement with your future self, you create an energetic bridge that collapses time itself, allowing tomorrow's wisdom and power to flow into your present moment. The ancients understood this profound principle, encoding it within their initiation ceremonies. Each ritual of ceremonial death and rebirth symbolized the practitioner's agreement to release their former identity and step into their evolved self. This transformation was not merely symbolic, it altered the very fabric of reality by changing the energetic signature from which creation flows. In the early 1900s, Harriet Blackwell struggled to advance women's rights in a society resistant to change. Her breakthrough came upon discovering her grandmother's leather-bound journal, which detailed the practice of the identity transmutation. Rather than fighting from a position of powerlessness, Harriet learned to operate from the perspective of her future self, a woman living in a world where equality was an established fact. By embodying this evolved identity in her thoughts, words, and actions, Harriet created unprecedented progress. She moved through the world not as one seeking rights, but as one already embodying the full dignity of equality. This shift in consciousness accelerated manifestation beyond what conventional activism could achieve. To harness this transformative power, create a sacred covenant with your future self, a binding agreement between who you are now and who you are destined to become. Write in precise detail the characteristics, perspectives, and capacities of your evolved identity, describing not just outer circumstances, but the inner qualities that define your highest expression. Let your words paint a vivid portrait of your enlightened state of being, complete with the wisdom, confidence, and expanded consciousness that naturally flows through your future self. Perform a daily ritual where you step into this future self for progressively longer periods, making decisions and taking actions not from past limitations, but from your highest potential. Begin each morning by consciously embodying these elevated qualities, allowing them to infuse your thoughts, words, and deeds throughout the day. As you practice this identity transmutation, you'll find yourself naturally expressing the traits and abilities that once seemed beyond reach. Record the acceleration in manifestation that occurs as you collapse linear time through this shift in identity, noting how reality reshapes itself to match your evolved consciousness. The more consistently you maintain this expanded state of being, the more swiftly your outer world will transform to reflect your inner metamorphosis. Chapter 28. The Forbidden Transmutation. In the cold hallways of London's Royal Hospital, Dr. Edward Blackwood discovered an ancient manuscript concealed within a hollowed medical text. Its weathered chapters revealed secrets far beyond conventional medicine, teachings that would transform his understanding of life's challenges forever. Through these sacred writings, you now understand that within every difficulty lies dormant creative power awaiting proper extraction. Just as lead contains the potential for gold, your challenges contain concentrated energy that, when properly transmuted, becomes the very fuel for manifestation. This knowledge was hidden throughout history because it threatened those who maintained control through fear. For when you recognize that obstacles are actually opportunities in disguise, you become impossible to manipulate through the threat of hardship. The wisdom of adversity alchemy illuminates how apparent misfortune contains specific energetic patterns that, when properly understood, accelerate rather than block your creative power. Each challenge arrives not as punishment but as concentrated potential, awaiting only the proper alchemical process to release its transformative essence. During the darkest days of the Great Depression, Dorothy Wheeler discovered her late husband's leather-bound journal hidden beneath the floorboards of their modest home. Within its chapters, she found The Adversity Alchemy, precise techniques for extracting hidden value from life's difficulties. While neighbors viewed her widowhood with pity or blame, Dorothy secretly practiced these methods, transforming her circumstances with remarkable speed. She learned to see each challenge not as an endpoint, but as raw material for creation. Where others saw only loss, she recognized concentrated potential waiting to be released. Through specific practices of perspective and energy transformation, Dorothy created unexpected prosperity from apparent disaster. Your own life reflects this same pattern, though you may not have recognized it consciously. Certain difficulties have led to remarkable breakthroughs, while others remained merely painful experiences. The difference lay not in the challenges themselves, but in your unconscious relationship to them, whether you unknowingly resisted or inadvertently transmuted their energy. To harness this alchemical power that lies dormant within you, begin by identifying your most significant current challenge, the one that weighs heaviest upon your spirit. On black paper, write its apparent limitations in precise detail, exploring every shadow and difficulty that seems to block your path. Then, on gold paper, systematically extract its hidden opportunities, recording every potential advantage contained within the difficulty, no matter how small or unlikely it may first appear. Practice this sacred transmutation daily, consciously shifting your perspective and energy until you develop the alchemist's eye, that rare and precious gift that sees gold where others perceive only lead. As you work with this ancient practice, you will find yourself naturally discovering brilliant possibilities where once you saw only dead ends. Record meticulously how this practice transforms your relationship with obstacles, noting the subtle shifts in your consciousness and the increasingly rapid manifestations that begin appearing precisely where resistance once stood immovable. Through dedicated practice, what begins as conscious effort will become an instinctive wisdom, allowing you to transmute life's challenges with ever-growing mastery. Chapter 29. The Legacy Manuscript. In the dimly lit archives of Boston's Historical Society, Philip Matthews discovered a leather-bound volume that would forever alter humanity's understanding of manifestation. Hidden between crumbling chapters of mundane records, ancient writings revealed a truth both liberating and sobering. Your life creates an energetic manuscript that influences generations beyond your awareness. Through these sacred teachings, you now understand that each thought, each intention, each manifestation ripples outward through time, creating patterns that shape the experiences of those yet unborn. Your creative power extends far beyond personal circumstances, writing an eternal story through the very fabric of existence. This knowledge was preserved only in mystery schools, carefully guarded from those who maintain power through institutional control. For when individuals recognize their multi-generational impact, they naturally align with purposes greater than immediate gratification, becoming impossible to manipulate through shallow desires. In the 1920s rural America, Eleanor Whitman discovered her grandmother's worn journal hidden in an old schoolhouse desk. Its chapters contained the eternal echo, teachings about how intentions create resonant patterns that influence future generations. While others saw education merely as preparation for immediate success, Eleanor recognized an opportunity to plant seeds of transformation that would flower long after her passing. She established a school that wove manifestation principles into practical subjects, teaching children not just how to succeed, but how to create legacies that would uplift generations. Through careful disguise of these ancient methods as conventional education, she initiated a wave of transformation that continued expanding decades after she departed this earthly plane. Your own deepest fulfillment reflects this timeless pattern. The manifestations that have brought you genuine satisfaction were not those serving only personal desires, but those contributing to humanity's greater evolution. In moments of true alignment, you have felt yourself part of an eternal story, creating not merely for now, but for all who will follow. To access this expanded creative power, create a manifestation timeline that extends beyond your physical existence. Contemplate how your current intentions might influence those you will never meet, the children of your children's children, and all who follow in the centuries ahead. In daily meditation, project your highest aspirations into the future as gifts to coming generations, seeing how the seeds you plant today will blossom into mighty forests of possibility long after your journey here is ended. Record how this broadened perspective naturally elevates your manifestations from self-centered to humanity-serving purposes, while deepening rather than diminishing your personal fulfillment. When you align with this eternal creative flow, you tap into the infinite wisdom that has guided all great visionaries who looked beyond the horizon of their own time. Your manifestations become bridges spanning generations, carrying forward the light of consciousness in ever-expanding waves of transformation. Chapter 30. The Eternal Flame. Through the mists of time, a sacred truth emerges from the weathered chapters found in a lonely lighthouse on Maine's rugged coast. In 1880, Samuel Pierce, keeper of the North Point Light, discovered manuscripts concealed within the tower's ancient stones. These yellowed chapters revealed the existence of the perpetual fire, a state of manifestation mastery that, once ignited, could never be extinguished by external forces. The wisdom you now hold transcends mere technique or temporary practice. Within you burns an eternal creative flame that no circumstance can quench. This activated awareness permanently transforms your relationship with reality, for you understand that your manifestation power exists beyond the illusion of loss or limitation. Throughout history, the greatest suppression of this truth has been the belief that spiritual illumination can be lost rather than temporarily forgotten. Like a flame that appears extinguished yet smolders beneath the ashes, your creative essence remains eternally present, waiting only for the breath of remembrance to burst forth anew. In the harsh winter of 1790, Abigail Winters faced mounting suspicion from her New England community. Her healing abilities drew both desperate seekers and dangerous accusations. Yet within her grandmother's cherished journal, she discovered writings about the inextinguishable light, teachings that revealed how true manifestation power, once awakened, remains forever accessible despite external opposition. This knowledge transformed Abigail's relationship with persecution. Rather than dimming her light, she preserved these sacred teachings through stories and songs passed down as simple folk wisdom, knowing that those ready for truth would recognize the deeper meaning hidden within these humble vessels. Your own journey reflects this eternal pattern. You have evolved beyond seeing manifestation as a collection of techniques to be mastered, recognizing instead your inherent nature as a conscious creator. This truth cannot be lost, but only temporarily veiled by forgetting, like the sun that remains constant above the passing clouds. To anchor this understanding in physical form, create a sacred ceremony using a candle, mirror, or crystal as a symbol of your awakened manifestation consciousness. Let the flame's eternal dance remind you of the undying light within, or gaze into the mirror to witness the divine creator reflected in your own eyes. Hold the crystal as a tangible embodiment of transformation, understanding that just as minerals transmute through time and pressure into objects of beauty, so too does your consciousness evolve into ever greater expressions of creative power. Establish a daily practice of remembrance, acknowledging that your creative power exists beyond temporary forgetting. In the quiet moments of dawn or dusk, reconnect with this truth through meditation, affirmation, or simple contemplation. Choose a physical object, a ring or pendant, to serve as a constant reminder of your eternal nature as a conscious creator, especially during times when external circumstances seem to challenge this truth. When you touch this sacred token throughout your day, let it ground you in the unwavering knowledge that you remain forever the author of your experience, regardless of fleeting appearances that suggest otherwise. If you enjoyed this audiobook, I created a free ebook version for you. You can download it using the link in the pinned comment. Conclusion. As you close these final chapters, recognize that you stand at a threshold few have been privileged to cross throughout the ages. The ancient wisdom now restored to your consciousness, despite centuries of deliberate concealment, has permanently altered your relationship with reality itself. You have transcended the illusions of limitation that have bound humanity's creative expression, piercing the veil to recognize yourself as the divine author of your experience. This sacred knowledge, once awakened within you, cannot be unlearned. Though moments may arise when old programming attempts to reassert itself through doubt or fear, return to these teachings as a testament to your true nature. The journey through these chapters does not end here, but transforms into lived experience as you apply these principles in ever-expanding ways. You have been entrusted with wisdom that powerful forces nearly erased from human consciousness. This trust carries both profound privilege and sacred responsibility. As you create your new reality with these reclaimed powers, understand that you become a living flame of this truth, silently awakening others through your example of conscious creation. The greatest expression of gratitude for receiving this knowledge is to become its embodiment. to live in such perfect harmony with these principles that your very existence becomes proof of their power, inspiring others to seek the liberation you have found. What they attempted to suppress has become your foundation, and what they tried to burn has become your eternal light. Remember, these teachings now live through you. Every manifestation you create, every reality you transform, carries forward this ancient lineage of conscious creators who refuse to let this wisdom die. You are not merely a recipient of this knowledge, but its guardian and expression in an age that desperately needs to remember its own divine creative power. If you enjoyed this exclusive audiobook, I handpicked this next book which will change your life.